This is Heno's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right. I want to sit here and talk about Mikey Garcia will be demolished by who? Errol the Truth Spence, part what? 47. We running this thing and we running it back. And guess what? We running it back again for you fools. And we keeping the foot on the what? On the necks of the Rudy Poos and the plum brain Mikey Garcia fanboys. First and foremost, I had to go back to that media press conference, the very first one. I'm going to say that again, the very first one, to see the body language between Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia. That body language was so funny. You guys got to go back and watch that full media press conference when they were rolling out that PBC was going to have a merger and a partnership with Fox. That was interesting at the highest levels. Reason being is because all this misnomer that the IBFPs or whatever the fart his name is, or all these Rudy Poo and these plum brain Mikey Garcia fanboys, the notions they want to come up with, all of that was answered that night. What did Errol Spence say? He attacked Sean Constipated Porter. I'm going to say that again. Sean Constipated Porter. He said he was trying to make that fight. Then somehow the fight broke down. And then Sean Porter came back with the most lamest excuses. See, that's the thing that I'm talking about. You got to be a deep thinker out here in these streets to understand the magnitudes of what fighters are saying and how when they throw, that scapegoat, you got to be able to be right back to be as a deep thinker and to make that curve to undercut the scapegoat. Because you got to see the foolery for what it is. You got to see the blinders when it gets put on your eyes. How you going to sit here, Sean Porter, and say, I had mandatories for the WC belt once I won the belt? First of all, Errol Spence was calling you out before you had the WC belt, you dodo head. So what are you talking about? Secondly, once you got the belt, Errol Spence went into the damn ring after you defeated Danny Garcia. And if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Danny Garcia, Errol Spence would have done it with him too. He asked you for the fight. Last time I checked, and anybody could correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody's going to correct me because I know I'm not wrong in this instance. When you have mandatories for a particular belt, typically the folks that are the ones that run that particular belt, whether it's the WBC or the WBA or the IBF, if it's another champion that's going to fight you and they know the money is there, they're going to trump whatever mandatories so that they can make sure the champions fight, so that those belts get unified. I'm going to say that again. If it's another champion that's there and they know the money is going to be there, because the Errol Spence versus a Sean Porter fight is way more marketable than Sean Porter versus you guys. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you guys, but come on. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all got to see the blinders when that thing is getting put over your eyes. Sean Porter hid behind the fact that he was talking about mandatories. Come on, man. Y'all can't be dodo heads out here in these streets. Right there, you saw that was a duck move. That's why I call him Sean Constipated Porter, because everything about him is constipated, like someone that's on the toilet that wants to decide whether they want to poop or whether they don't want to poop. That's Sean Porter for you. He's constipated, just like his boxing style. When he was asked a question, he gave a constipated answer. His ass been debunked. Keith Thurman. Errol Spence attacked him. With Keith Thurman, we don't know how many injuries that man is going to have. Every time I keep calling him out. Errol Spence was calling Keith Thurman out even before the injuries. So what are we talking about here? Yeah, Keith Thurman may have some more validity in terms of excuse because, yes, he did suffer an elbow injury courtesy of Danny Garcia. Then he turned around and suffered another hand injury. We know that. It's credible. He had the surgeries, things of that nature. Unlike Abner Morris, where, anyways, I know I caught flack for that, but anyways, that's just suspect to me because there was just too many back and forths. At least with Keith Thurman, it was fixed on elbow and hand, but that's neither here nor there. My point is this. He was calling you out before you had the injuries. So where were you at that time? See, and Errol Spence took the chance to take his shots. That's what I like about him, because he's like me, but he does it from a boxing standpoint. Me, I do it from the YouTube standpoint. We both keep the foot on the necks of these Rudy Poo and these plum brains That's how we operate out here in these streets. We don't got time for the dodo head nonsense. He kept the foot on the pedal, and he forced Sean Porter and Keith Thurman to have to give answers. And their answers, you know what they were at the highest levels? Rubbish. I'm going to say that again. Rubbish. That's what it was. It was nonsense. And anyone could see through that foolery. Mikey Garcia gets only one credit. He gets the credit for stepping up when nobody else couldn't. So when people sit here and say that Errol Spence is not a boogeyman, Errol Spence just attacked all these guys. And Danny Garcia, wasn't he there that night? Why was he so quiet? I didn't hear him say, oh, let me get the mic. You know what I'm saying? Because he's calling the welterweight division. Because Errol Spence was putting the welterweight division on blast. Danny Garcia fights for which division? The welterweight division. Where was he? See, that's what I'm talking about. These are most of the top fighters in the welterweight division. They all got their ass called out by Errol Spence, and no one talked. And this was face to face. This is how you know when someone is a boogeyman of the division, because they can say something to your face, and if you don't give the proper answer or you give a timid answer, that shows that that person has the ability to bully you. That shows that that person is lording over you. You dodo heads, I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to give you comprehension and the $1 million game, but y'all ain't hearing me out here in these boxing streets. But my real G's understand what I'm talking about. On to Mikey Garcia. Look at his body language. He had to reaffirm and restate stuff so that he could give himself a false sense of confidence. Whoosh. What I just said was deep and profound. Let me say that again. Let's rewind. Mikey Garcia had to restate and reaffirm whatever he was saying so that he could give himself a false sense of confidence. If you watch that press conference, you'll see that. His body language exuded someone that lacked the true and proper confidence. When Errol Spence talked, he said straight up, he was taking his shots at that time. Well, they say they see something. Well, come March 16th, I'm going to prove why I'm the best welterweight. And I'm going to knock and I'm going to debunk those misnomers. Let's fast forward. What did Errol Spence say in the latest press conference? The Mikey Garcia family is sitting there and they talking all this nonsense about TKO stoppage. Make sure y'all have that same energy come March 16th. Now let's rewind. What did Mikey Garcia say? Mikey Garcia said, oh, you know, the saying is when that reporter asked, the saying is the great big man beats a great little man. Why is that going to be different for you? Well, you know, it's going to be different because, you know, in this instance, there have been times where the little guy, you know, has beaten the big guy. He didn't say definitively that in this instance, it would be me. He said, I believe in my skills. And he knows and I know that we're both on par with skills with one another. But I believe in my skills. He did not say definitively that I will be that exception to the rule. Go watch the press conference, man. Because see, that's the thing. I watch stuff verbatim. I repeat stuff verbatim from the way I hear it. And not only do I do that, I look at people's mannerisms, man. I look at their body language. Because I'm in people's heads. I'm Sun Tzu Art of War up in this motherfucker. I see things before they happen. Call me what? The visionary. Like some of you folks out here in these streets call me. I'm the visionary, man. Because I see these things unraveling before they happen. And the truth of the fact of the matter is this. Mikey Garcia has been letting you know since that press conference. And let's fast forward to the latest press conference. His body language. When Errol Spence said, make sure y'all have that same energy that night. Same body language. This time he had that bloated face. Like he was like, oh man, he came for the jugular. And that's what Errol Spence does. He comes for the jugular here, and then he comes for the jugular there. That's why I said, when people say that I'm the Errol Spence of YouTube, there's a reason for that. Because I keep the foot on the necks. Just like Errol Spence does, man. He keeps the foot on the necks in the ring, man. When he's in the square circle, he adopts the punishment style. Whoosh. The levying onslaught of what? Tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work. When that dude comes for you, that dude comes to body snatch your ass. And then after he does that, then he headhunts you right after. That's why I like how he operates. Boxing ones and twos and boxing 101 at the highest levels. Mikey Garcia stands no chance, man. And all you got to do is look at both of those media press conferences. The body language enaminates for you, man. It explains everything. And anyone that doesn't know what the word enaminate means, see, that's another word. See, I'm always extending the vocabulary for the brain full of mush and the brainwashed dodo heads that don't understand stuff. You know, the ones that lack neuron receptors in their brain cells for them to do what? Reason critically and effectively, to have normal cognitive functioning. So I have to reinvent, or I have to rebring extended vocabulary to you guys, because it's like I'm re-educating you guys on certain things. Because remember, your brain didn't click at that critical stage at 14, 15 years old. So it's like when you come to my channel, you're not only getting that must-see TV, but you're also learning a few things. Enaminate means to illuminate. And that's what Errol Spence is going to do come March 16th. He's about to illuminate Mikey Garcia's ass. Mikey Garcia's ass is writing a check. Mikey Garcia's mouth is writing a check that his ass can't cash. I'm going to say that again. His mouth is writing too much of a check that his ass can't cash. Come March 16th, that check is going to bounce. His ass is getting what? Man down. Strap season. Flatline. Hulk smash. And there are no two ways around that. Via what? 5th round TKO stoppage. And y'all know y'all got to book that bad boy. Because come post-fight March 16, I want all of them Rudy Poo and these plum brain Mikey Garcia fanboys to come on my page, put respect on my name via subscription. Make sure you put your concession comments that, hey, he knows his sport called this thing exactly the way it was. And I'm a Rudy Poo and I'm a plum brain. Make sure you sign Rudy Poo and plum brain next to your names. And I also want you to share and like the videos with others. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.